Hi everyone. This is officially your last lecture for the projects. Of course, I'll be giving one more lecture on the final exam review. I haven't finished putting the final exam together, so I need to first put on the final exam before I give that lecture on the final exam review. But just know that it's, I think, 12% of your grade, and it has three sections, and it's 4% each for each of those three sections, and you need to complete all of those three sections, 4% each within 48 hours. With that out of the way, so let's look at the final lecture. Let me share my screen here real quick. Excuse me. Let me share the screen. Okay, so I'll be writing code here, but let me just so today we'll be working on a few things. So this is what your, I hope you can see the screen. I can't tell here. I think you're seeing my screen. Okay, cool. So what I wanna work on today. What's happening here? Okay, I can. Sorry about that. So what we have done so far is we have worked on these first three things on the first lecture. You're supposed to implement on this yourself. We did the cache, we did the web view, and then we did also the progress bar. Today we're gonna display map tiles within map view with custom settings. We're gonna make some changes and follow the instructions in the assignment page. Share data across two distinct fragments, and then place a map onto a map at specified geo coordinates. So I think this is what we'll be work on onto, but you guys will be working on the customized display of markers and handle user interaction with map markers, right? So you'll be working on that, right? So I'll be working all the way um until here maybe, and then after that you'll be. I have not exactly planned how much I'm going to work on, but I think up to here maybe we'll work until this point and then just be able to see the marker, but you'll be adding the photo markers. You'll be adding the photo markers and then so what you need to do from here is how do you complete the assignment is you need to carefully read this assignment page and use all the experience that you have gained in this class so far to be able to finish the assignment, right? So it's you will need to pull a lot of um, experience from what you've done throughout the semester to be able to finish this project, and I truly believe you can finish this yourself, and I'm not going to be going through all this, right? And I feel like all the code has been given to you here. You just need to read the documentation and you just need to put the code in the right place and do some experiments, right? And learn how the code works. So saying that, um, one more thing I want to do is I want to show you, of course, I'm gonna do the demo, but let me show you how this phase 3 actually works. I'm gonna be doing the demo soon, but this is my code for the phase 3 that I've written. So let me show you guys in the emulator so that um, you can see how this is supposed to run. But it's launching right now. So all of this, I'll display this in the demo, but of course we created this refresh reload cache button. All of this we have done it before, and you see that in the last lecture we had a cute grandma over here, but we no longer have a cute sweet grandma. Sorry, not yeah. Anyways, grandma over here. Um, she doesn't seem very. She seems a little bit anxious in here, right? So the point of that is that the cache. Um, so after 24 hours, the pictures get changed, right, with Flickr. And I got a message in Piazza post that said that we can no longer access the API for free. So you need to get the premium account to get the API. So please work on that. Yeah, please work on that. The thing I wanted to show you today is this one. This is how your final project is gonna look like for the map. I'm trying to scroll vertically, right? But I can't go past a certain point. I'm stuck here. But if I go to the left or to the right, it will take me like it's like an infinite scroll. I keep on going and hitting a wall here, right? So that's how it's supposed to work. Now, if I go closer here, like all these pictures are coming from the pictures from this gallery. If they had like, so let's look at some of these pictures, right? There's a building here and this military or something like that. All that is coming from this gallery here, right? So if you can see some of these pictures here, let's see. Yeah, I see this picture in the map, right? So those are the photo markers, right? That's the one we want to have here, the photo markers here. And let's see more pictures that I can. But anyways, so those markers are coming from here, right? So you saw that this picture is coming from there. So let me zoom this. This is what it's going to look like. The more you zoom, the better you will see where the picture is. So now, oops, excuse me, I clicked on the back button accidentally. Um, and then if I zoom here, then you will see that if I click it here, it will say keep and it real. So that's the title that has been given. Twilight, that's the picture of the house, and then it shows you the marker, right? So that's what the map marker is supposed to look like. And pause a while, right? That's also, we saw this picture in the gallery. And also, like if I go back and come back to this, I should hold that same position. Um, yeah, it should hold the center and also the zoom, right? So I'm not sure exactly. I think okay, we'll try some of this, but this is how it's supposed to look like, right? So this is how it's supposed to look like. There's a lot more in Europe that we see here. Italy, we see a couple of pictures. It's supposed to give you the title here. So that's what it's supposed to look like. Let's get started. I'm gonna put this code away, put it in the background here, and then so this is the last lecture on the projects, right? So let's get started. And okay, where do I start? So the first thing I want to do is I want to go to the fragment map. Um, so let me go to the fragment map .xml and then add that map. So for this purpose, people can use different things. Some people use Google Maps, but we're going to use OpenStreetMap, OSM, Droid, right? So it's a combination of OpenStreetMap and Android. That's the one that we're going to be using it for this, the purpose of this project. Let me just zoom this out a little bit. The first thing we're going to do is change this map, right? So the thing that we need to add here is the map view. So to do that, we actually need to go to the code view. I don't know exactly. I don't think we have a button here that does that. So we're gonna have to type this out manually. Let me remove this. Um, org.osm, that is OpenStreetMap Droid map view. Yeah, that's the one that we need. And yeah, so hold on, let me see. And then we need to close this up with like this. I think we need to import something here, looks like. Is that true? I think let me just work on this, all right? I think I should. So the first thing I want to do is add an ID. Actually, let me just copy and paste this code. I don't want to type everything here. Um, First of all, you need to make the ID as map view, and layout height and width is 0 dp. And of course, we're going to have to add the constraints. Maybe that's why it's giving, oh yeah, I think that's the reason it's giving the issue. You see the map view, right? But we need to add the constraints here. Put the plus sign over here. This is constraint now. Plus sign on this side. Let's put a 0 here, not 411. And the same, go to the top and to the bottom. So now we have, let's put this 0 again. So now you see all these blue dots, right? So you see that this is constrained. So I think that's why there was an issue, not that we had to import anything. So now this is good. We have the map view. That's the first thing we want to do. Now we need to, Yeah, so that's the first thing. Now let's go to the map fragment dot this map fragment. So let's go to the map fragment and let's add some fundamental code. The first thing we want to add is a configuration. So let's go to so we need to go after the on view created, right? Not on create view. So let's work on that. So on after the view is created, right? On, excuse me, what is that? On view created. So let's work on this after the view is created. So let's add some configuration here. The first thing I want to add is this configuration. So remember when you do width, width is basically like I'll talk about more about this width, but we need to add configuration. And remember to select org. There are a lot of configuration, right? Select the one with the OSM droid config, right? So select that one. Make sure that's the one that has been called, selected, and then get the instance. So this is just a singleton pattern that we have done before that we have done. So now we're going to put the brackets here. So basically what this width does is like we don't have to keep on calling this configuration.get instance dot load dot. We don't have to keep on doing that, right? So basically when you keep everything under this dot, it neatly allows us to use the properties that is with this, right? So the first thing this is doing is it gets the instance um, of this map, and this is a singleton. We have already talked about the repository pattern and the singleton in our previous lecture. And this with that, this allows to call multiple function on the instance without repeating its name, right? So we don't have to keep on repeating this. So that's the first thing. The second thing is we're going to do something called load. And load is something you can call on this, right? You can call on that load, but we're going to just say load. And then we need to add a couple of things in this load. We need to add the context. I'm going to talk about all of this, and then we're going to have to add preference manager dot get default shared preferences, and then we also require context here. So what this is doing, this load function is doing is it is used to initialize settings. Context is the current activity, app or activity context that we need to give the context here. And the last thing is the preference manager retrieves the shared preferences or settings, right? This is all that is doing right now. So that's we're just loading some stuff up. Um, and the last thing we want to do inside here is we want to add user agent value, and then we're going to do require context and then package name. So what this is doing here is user agent value is used to identify app during the HTTP request. So we do not have to give like an API key for this, but they want to know that they want to identify who is making the request, right? So we're sending the package name so that they can identify, right? So this is very common. Like this is very common when you have open map libraries to send these for identification, right? So I think that's the first thing. Let's try to get this. This will give us the very basic map. I hope this works. Let's work on this main activity. Okay, let's wait a minute, and it's launching. All right, so it's launching right now. I see that that's what we did the last lecture. Uh, let's go to this map view. Okay, now I see it's giving us the most basic map. Obviously, this is the most basic settings. We'll have to configure a lot of things here so that we meet the requirements for the project. So I think this is good. If I zoom in here, I can see like I want to go. So I'm from Nepal, so let me try to go to Nepal here. Oh, I even see Nepal in my own language. That's nice. Oh, that's in the Nepalese language. That's interesting. All right, so um that's good. All right, so that's good. But we're gonna have to do a lot of settings here to change some things, right? So let's do that. We got the most basic map up and running, so that's good. Um, so now also like to make these changes, right? I want to show you something. I want to show you some documentation here. So this is the document. Everything that you see me doing right now is like, where is this professor pulling this out? You know, this is just he's just pulling out a lot of code that we are not familiar with, and that might seem like that, but everything I'm doing is going to be from this API. So if you see like add map listener, right? So just like all setmap, except it supports, and you can click on this and you can see how it's being used. And please go to this Java doc, right? So doc org.os. So go follow this link and you should see what the things that I'm calling. And this is a Java doc. We can modify the same thing for Kotlin, right? We can use the same things here, and this will work on Kotlin fine. And this is where and we'll use this on pods and on resume as well today. But this is the documentation I'm using, right? So I'm not pulling all this code out of thin air, but I'm actually writing this from that documentation, right? So now here we need to. This is what we did, right? We had the binding. From this binding, we have the map view. So we need to change a bunch of things with this map view, right? So first of all, we need to do binding dot map map view. That's the map view that was in that XML file, and we have to apply certain things, right? Remember, this is this apply. We did that same thing for the project on the dream detail fragment. There was a picture, and we made a bunch of changes, right? We used the get scale bitmap and bitmap functionalities while we applied something on the binding, right? So let's do this min zoom level. We're gonna set the mean zoom level to 1.5. If you just do binding.mapview.mean zoom level, you will see here in this documentation mean zoom level. So mean zoom level. So in Kotlin, what you can do is simply, instead of setting and getting, you don't have to put the setter and getter. You can simply use this and then simply set the value in Kotlin, right? That's the mean zoom level, right? So that's the one we're using right now. And I'm going to set it to 1.5. So I'm going to set that to 1.5. So basically what that does is you can, minimum means user can't zoom out too far, right? So this is the minimum zoom level you can zoom. The maximum zoom, let's put the maximum zoom. How much can you zoom into it, right? And they will put this to 15. You can put more, but we don't want this open source to have to tax this API, right? We want to be responsible while using this open APIs. You can see up to the street level, right? You can see up to the street level in here. So that's another thing. And the third thing I want to do is we're going to do set tile source. This is, I'll talk more about this. Let me just type this first. Tile source factory dot will say mapnik map mapnik. Yeah, so mapnik. So mapnik is the more generic source. Default rendering style for OpenStreetMap, right? So it is good for all purpose tile source like road, buildings, parks, and text labels, right? So this is gives us like a particular type like of rendering, right? But this is the more default one that's being used. So let's start with this. Let's see how this works. Let's go to the map view. Okay, now you see like we zoom to a certain level and we are using this map nick. Let me just still we are able to go up, scroll up top, right? And that's not good. We'll have to set up some boundaries so that it doesn't cross. Like if we need to put the boundaries from this latitude, maximum latitude to this minimum latitude, right? So we need to change that. And now, but let me just zoom here, right? Let me just zoom here now, right? So that's now you see like a particular, like you see in a certain way, right? So we can go up to the street view. Where is that? Where are we right now? This is is that Netherlands? Let me go to, I want to go to Norway. So my wife is from Norway, so I just want to go to Norway here. Um, so my wife is, I think she's from the north of Norway. I should know that. So somewhere over here, right? So let me just go to one place here. Anyways, right? So you can see this is how it works. Um, and that's the maximum you can go. You can see if you let it render a little bit more, you can see certain text here. You can even see a little bit of the road and all that kind of stuff, right? So that's what we want here. So this is working fine, right? So this is fine. But we wanted to like set up the, we need to set up the, we need to set up the like, we don't want to set up the map to be able to scroll down and up. So what we're going to do is we're going to do vertical map repetition enable. And then you can find this in the document as well. But the thing that is asking is a true or false, and we need to set that to false, right? But we want to also like put a limitation on how far up and down it can go. So set scrollable area limit latitude. So let's put that limit latitude. So we're gonna call a number here, but to get there, we can simply get this by simply going to tile system, and then we do max latitude. And that should give us how far up we can go. And then if I do map view dot get tile system dot min latitude, and I'll just put a p extra pixel height. So I'm just going to put a 0 over here, right? So that's just a default value. In the previous documentation, you didn't have to even put that. We'll do that, right? And what this does, is, let me go now and check this. Now it's going to limit the top and the bottom. Let's go to there. Okay, so now it's been limited. Like you can see, this map has been now, there's a limit here where you can go. Of course, you can go side by side, but you can't go right. So that's good. And now as you go here, right, as you go close, let's go to Blacksburg, right? Why don't we go to Virginia Tech, Blacksburg? Virginia Tech, let's go to Blacksburg. Rocky Mount, where's Blacksburg? But as we go closer, right, these texts are a little bit not that legible. It's quite taxing to the eyes to see this text, right? So to change that, we're going to change a few more things here. Um, it's not that so we're gonna as we scroll, we want to make the text readable, right? So text larger. So we're gonna do is tiles scale to DPI, and then I'll read more about this in the documentation. I'm leaving this as an open question for you guys to look at and read more on the documentation, and then set it to true. So this makes the text larger when we scroll. The last thing we want to do is we always want to have zoom controller dot set visibility custom zoom button scroller dot visibility dot always. So as you saw that, right, maybe I should show you guys that actually. I should show you guys before I. Okay, so this is good. Is tiled. So now let's scroll. Like you see, as I zoom this, right? As I zoom this more and more, um, these zoom button just disappeared in some point, right? I don't know, like it's not disappearing right now. But if I move around, it's not disappearing, but it's supposed to disappear, right? This zoom plus and minus. But we want this zoom button always to be there. Um, so we want, okay, now you see that it disappeared, right? Now we have to click on that. So we want to keep that plus and minus button at all times. To do that, we're going to do zoom controller dot set visibility, and then we're going to do custom zoom buttons controller dot visibility dot always. So now if I do that and run this, what just happened? Why can't I restart this? Okay. All right, so that's good. All right, so Now you see that this plus and minus button is not going to disappear even if I leave it for a little bit of time. It's just going to stay there. It's going to stick to the screen, right? So that's what we did. The texts are more readable right now. I can see, let me look at Nepal. Wait, I can't see Nepal. Oh, I can see Nepal right now. It's in my Nepalese language though. You guys figured that out, right? It's not requirement for the assignment. It doesn't matter. All right, so that's good. But we want, so let me show you one more thing. Maybe I should have showed you guys before, is when we move away from this map view and then we go to the gallery, we want to be able to store the zoom and where, so if we zoom to this place and then we go over here and then when we come back, it's going to go in the beginning, right? We don't want that. We want it to be more user friendly. We want the users to be able to go to the same place that scrolled after they go to this place, right? So that's another thing we're going to fix here is we're going to create our good old friend, the view model, right? So we've been using the view model all semester long. And now you see the value of this, right? How valuable the view model is because it helps you with these kinds of stuff. So let's do that. Let's add the view model here. I'm going to call it the map view model. Map view model. Let's name it map view model. And if you remember, this is how we call our old friend view model. And then we need to initialize it. And we want to know like how we will do the zoom level. First, that's the first thing we want to do. We'll call it a double. And then we'll do 1.5. That's going to be the zoom level, how much we have zoomed. And we'll do something called private set. I know you guys, I've taught you guys this is, it can only be accessed. It cannot be changed, right? So this is why we did that, but we want to be able to access this from the map fragment, right? So that's the zoom level. The second thing we want to do is, let me see if I've done everything I need to do so far. I think we are good so far. Okay, so that's good. So zoom level is good. The second thing we want is the coordinate, right? We want map center. Um, and then we're gonna put IGO point, right? So this is gonna give us the coordinate where we are at. What's the latitude and where is the center of the map as we're zooming in, right? So we'll do geo point and we'll put 0 by 0 by default. So latitude and longitude, right? And then we're gonna do the same thing. Private set. That's good. All right, so now we're gonna do function save map state, and we're gonna do zoom, and then say double, and then center. It's gonna be IGO point, right? Oh, we need to do IGO point. All right, so we need to save this stuff. So we're gonna do zoom level equals to zoom. Why is this not? Okay, so this is spelled incorrectly here. Zoom level, and that's gonna set that thing. And then map center is gonna be the center. Perfect. So this works, right? And now we need to go to the map fragment here. We need to add this map fragment at the top. Like first of all, we need to add this. Where is that? Okay, where's that? Okay, so we need to add this like this here at the top, like we have done before. Um, in the map fragment, we'll just do private val VM. Let's just initialize the map view model, and then and by this is gonna be view models, right? Oh, not all of that. We just need to initialize this. We don't need all of that. So we have initialized this map view model as VM. Let's give some space here. And then now is we need a couple of functions here, right? So we need two functions. We need on pause. On pause is when you move away from the screen. And then on resume, if you remember the life cycle, we talked about this a little bit in our first lectures, is we're going to do when it's pause. On pause, we're going to do something here. We're going to set the zoom level. And also we're going to on resume when we come back to that. What's going to happen when we come back to that, right? So on pause, what are we going to do? We're going to do the same thing. We'll use the with binding.mapView. Remember, that's the binding.mapView over here. And then we're going to call some things here, right? We're going to do vm.save map state. So we're going to just use this function, save map state. And then we're going to put the zoom level. So to get the zoom level that's currently, we just have to do this, right? This is just given to us in the API. And then we get the map center is just map center. It's also in the API, right? So please check this API, right? It has everything here about how to put these things together. And then we're simply going to say on pause, right? So, and another thing we want to do is, we want to do, that's the for the on pause. So we want to, so why we're doing is we are going to pause the map OSMRO when we pause our map view, right? So when we move away from the screen, that's all that we're doing. The second thing is we want to resume with binding.map view. We're going to on resume. This is going to resume this OSM roid, and then we have to do controller dot set zoom. So for this map, we're going to try to do VM from the, so we're going to get the value from the map view model. We're going to do VM dot zoom level. So now this is going to set the map to this zoom level when it's resumed again, right? So when it's resumed, that's what this is going to do, right? And then we're going to do controller dot set center and then VM dot map center. And one thing I want you guys to remember is that this order matters. If you mess this order, like if you put this map center at the top and this at the bottom, then first of all, this is going to set your map center at that point, all right? We don't want that. We want to zoom first, right? And then set the map center to that latitude and longitude, right? So remember, if you mess this up, something like this is going to cause issues. So just do the other way around. This has to be a specific order. Just that you understand this. All right. So, um, okay. So let's try this and see if this works. All right. Okay. Let's zoom. Let's zoom to Nepal again. Okay. I want to go to my motherland. Um, okay. So that's Nepal, right? So you can see Nepal here. This is India. Let me go back to the gallery. And now let me come back to Nepal. Perfect, right? So isn't this cool, right? So this is cool. Right now I moved away from here. I came back and I'm still in Nepal right here. So I'm still in Nepal. Let's do one for Virginia Tech for you guys, right? This one is dedicated to the students here at Virginia Tech. So let's do this just so that it works. Indiana, West Virginia, Washington. Roanoke, I see Roanoke here. I think Roanoke has about 90,000 people. I think Blacksburg is a little bit smaller. Where is Blacksburg? I see it here. Okay, cool. So let's go here back. And I now go back to Blacksburg. Perfect. Now I can still see the Blacksburg. Right? And if you want to do something complicated, right? If I go back and I come back, then it went back, right? So if you want to do something more complicated where you want to keep it longer than even when you press the back button, when it's removed from the back stack, what you want to do is store it in the database, right? And we've already learned how to do the database. So if you want to make a more complicated app, it's not required. This assignment, all you need to do is the map view model, right? But if you want to do something more complicated, please use the database and then caching the database and all those things, right? We've already learned the stateflow and the flow stateflow and mutable stateflow and all those things, right? You can figure that by yourself, right? Okay. Okay. So what are we doing next? Hold on. So I think we finished. I think we finished Yeah, so display map tiles from within a map view with custom settings, right? So we um, display a map tiles within a map view for custom settings. We did that, right? Share data across two distinct fragments, right? So this is a concept I have not introduced in this class, so I'm going to talk about this. Drink some water before I introduce a new concept. All right, so here, what we want is what we're trying to do is we want to share data from this fragment to the map fragment, right? So what's the data that we're sharing from this fragment to this fragment? We want to share the location of these pictures and put it as a marker. Like, okay, if this picture, say this old grandma who looks very frustrated, say if she's from Nepal, we want to put this marker in Nepal. All right, so that's what we want to do. And of course, we won't get the geolocation for all of these pictures. We might get it for like 20 odd pictures, but all the pictures that has a geolocation, we want to put it here, right? So we want to share the data from this fragment to this fragment. So what we're going to do is we're not going to share. It's a little bit more complicated sharing between fragments, but what we're going to do is set this gallery fragment as the activity fragment. Sorry, the activity view model. We're going to make a different kind of view model that belongs to the whole activity and then share it to this local view model, right? We're going to do something like that, not directly share data between the fragments, right? We're not going to use something like like the navigation, right? We're not going to use the navigation for this. We're going to do something different so that you guys get experience with this as well, right? So what we're going to do is make some changes. It's going to give us some issues. Bear with me. It's going to give us some issues here. So let's change this um, gallery view model to main view model. Where do I rename this actually? How do I do this? Hmm. Okay, refactor. Okay, I'm gonna name this as main view model refactor. So it has been named main view model, right? So that's the first thing you want to do and make sure this says main view model, which is fine. The second thing you want to do is go to the gallery fragment. Let's go to the gallery fragment. So it's gonna mess up a bunch of stuff here, as you see. Um, So it already changed it to the main view model, right? But we don't want this as a view models. We want to change this to something else, right? We want to change this to activity view model. It's going to be like a view model that's going to be accessed. Um, sorry, for the whole activity, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to call it as the activity view models. So that's what we're going to do, right? Another thing we need to do is might need to fix some code in the nav graph if that's giving any issues. I think it's fine right now, actually. I think it's okay. So that's good, right? So we have this main view model. I'm just trying to see if there's anywhere I messed up some code here by changing that name, but that's fine. We just changed it to the main view model, and that's not going to mess up any of our code. This is for the whole activity now, right? So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the map fragment, and now this we will be able to call a view model for the whole activity, right? Which is gonna be the activity VM, the main activity, or not main activity, sorry, main view model by activity view models. Let's remove this stuff. Okay, so we want to access some data from this view model, right? So what do we want to access? So from this main view model, we want to access um, we want to access this gallery items, right? The pictures here, and from the pictures we want to get some data here, right? So let's go here. Let's log something here. Let's go over here and then let's log something here, right? Log.w. We're going to do a warning log, and then we just say shared. Oh, I need to import the log. I just imported the log. So share shared VM test, and the message is gonna be, we're gonna give a message saying found, we're gonna say activity VM dot gallery items. And remember, the gallery items is a stateful, so we have to get the value here. And oops, what just happened here? What am I doing? Gallery items value. And then remember, this is stateful, that's why you have to do the value. And then let's get the size of this, right? So we have 99 pictures, right? So it should give us 99 pictures over here. So we say gallery items. Let's just say this, all right? So let's log this. Let's see everything is working. Let's log some stuff here, all right? Where is our logcat? Our old friend logcat is here. Let me just clear the logcat. I don't want to see a bunch of these issues. Let's click on that. Okay, look at that. It says found 99 gallery item, right? So once it was resumed here in this map fragment, then it says found 99 gallery items. So we were able to successfully get the data from this main view model, which was the gallery view model. We changed that. And then we're able to get the data from this state flow, mutable state flow, and then we're able to pull this data, right? The size of this. All right, so that works, right? So that's the, I think that's what this is talking about, right? Share data across two distinct fragments. So we just did that, all right? So we just did that. So now I'm gonna do a little bit more and then I'm gonna end this lecture. I don't want to show you too much. I just want to show you a little bit more here. So let's go to the gallery item here. Let's go to gallery item. And then here, I want to add something new here. All right. So I want to add something new. What is that new thing I want to add here? I want to add a couple of more things here. We have the string. Let me add the latitude of this picture. So what this Flickr API will do is if that picture has a location, then this will set this to some latitude. Otherwise, it will put the value of 0. All right. So we'll try to get the picture from this from the Flickr API. Remember, this gallery item is from the Flickr API, right? And then longitude. And then if this is not set to 0, that means it has a location, has a marker, right? So that's one thing. I just added that. And one thing I need to do is I need to change something at the Flickr API, but I don't want to show you guys my API code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll over here, delete the API, and then I'm going to, which this was not the best practice, but I have to do it anyway. So your API, let me just, and I'm going to share the screen here and change some things. And then this is the API, Flickr API that we created, right? And here you need to put the API. I think you might have to buy the premium account, unfortunately. I got it for free, all right? So, but that was, I didn't know that you had to pay it. For some reason, they changed the policy. Maybe too many college students are doing this as their assignment and they wanted to cash in some money out of that. But I'm not sure. That's just conjecture. I don't want to get sued for that. So I take it back, all right? I don't want to be sued by the Flickr API. That's just conjecture. All right, so the only thing we're gonna do is we need the geolocation, right? So we're gonna say here geo. I think that's all we need to do here, actually. Let me double check. And then obviously put the API. Okay, perfect. So the API is good. Let me go ahead and put my real API now. That's everything you need to do with the API. So I'm gonna put my API back again. And then I won't show you the API. This is not a very good way of doing it, is it? All right, so I'm gonna bring my code over here. So I just put that API back again and you can't see it anymore. All right, so now let's go here and then let's go to the map fragment. Let's go to the map fragment again. We want to put some markers here now. And then let's go to the on view created. Let's go to the on view created here. And then right below this, we're gonna count how many of these pictures have a latitude and a longitude, right? So we'll do value, that's the state flow, and then we'll do the count. And we're gonna use the functional programming here. We're gonna count if that means if this gallery items has a latitude that is not equals to 0.0, and both of this shouldn't be 0, right? Both of this should have some kind of value, and longitude is not equals to 0.0, then we're gonna log something here, we're gonna log something here, and we're gonna say map fragment, and then we're gonna say got count items with valid GEO. So let's do that. So let's try running this and see how many of these have, I think I should put a comma here. How many of these have like geolocation? All right, so let's check that. And let's use the logcat again. Okay, so let's go here and let's look at the logcat. Okay, it says, look at this. This is the one I want. Got 25 items with valid geo. So 25 of these pictures out of the 99, we can put it on the map here, right? So that's good. That's perfect. We can do this for our assignment. So they have the latitude and the longitude. Now you need to go to the documentation. We finished all the way here. Now you need to put markers and then customize the display of the map markers and handle user interaction with it. Let's place the map marker, right? So I think that's all I'm going to do. And then I'll let you guys figure out the rest of the assignment yourself. Okay, so they even have done something similar to I have here. And then now I'm going to simply put this code here. Okay, so what do I do here? So now I need to put this all in a life cycle here, right? So what I'm going to do here is, let me do this. All right, so let me put all of this in a life cycle view. Since remember, this is also in a coroutine. Launch. Remember everything we're getting from the gallery. Remember in the the first lecture of the project 3, it comes from a coroutine. So we need to add these things as we have done before. Life cycle dot state dot started, and then we're gonna do activity. Maybe they have given us this code. Okay, they have given us this code here. Let me just copy and paste this code. Okay, I need to import a couple of things here. So activity, then you filter. If they have the latitude and the longitude, then we're gonna loop through it. For each of the gallery item, we're gonna put the marker. We need to import this. Yes, import the marker. And then we need to import the geopoint as well. That's good. So marker equals to marker, and then we apply the position to that geopoint, gallery item dot latitude. We're gonna put that as the position, and the title, whatever is the title for the picture, we're gonna put it as the title in that marker. And then we're gonna do overlays with some markers, right? We're gonna add some marker. So let's do this. Let's try running this. Let's try running this and see if this works. All right, so let's go here. Okay, we got something, right? We got this weird looking upside down hands pointing at these pictures. And that's good enough for us for now. At least we know that the markers are working. And then if I click on these, then it will say rainbow peak, right? Rainbow peak. And then if I click on there, keeping it real, twilight. All right, so we see these things, right? It's working now. But this is not complete. As you can remember, you need to put the photo markers. You actually need to put a picture here and finish the assignment, right? So I think that's where I'm gonna stop right today. That's that's the end of it. I don't want to give you more hints. Um, I truly believe you can finish it yourself now. You need to do something with the nav graph. You need to do something in the navigation and add some code and do some stuff, clean up, and then I think you should be done with the code. So if you go below here, I would request you guys to read these things. Just read this documentation. Um, think about it, use your experience that you've learned in the class. And there's a lot here, and then you can finish this, but we're basically done before that point, right? So that's done. That's yeah, that's done. That's where I'm gonna stop. So please finish your assignment. So let's go over through this, right? So we implemented these first three things. This was for you to figure it out. We did the cache, we did the web view, we added the progress bar, we did the display map in the map view, and then we shared the data, two distinct fragment. We shared the data from the gallery fragment, and then we put a marker, right, at a specific geo coordinate. We did that, but you need to make it more specific, and it needs to look something like this. Let me show this to you guys. It needs to look something like this. Okay, so it needs to look something like this. So this is going to be your finished assignment, right? So you need to be able to click on the pictures and then be able to navigate like that, right? So this is what it's going to look like. And that's going to be your end of your project. So that's about it. I don't know if I have anything else. I'm gonna work on your final exams. I haven't worked on your final exams. So I'm gonna upload it soon. I'll set the date. I'm thinking it's probably gonna be during Monday and Tuesday during your final exam date. And it's gonna be on Monday and Tuesday for 48 hours, and you'll have three questions, 4% each. And then I will upload final exam review based on the questions that I see that the important things that you need to know before you come to the final exams. Um, but it's been a pleasure working with you guys. Thank you for coming to the lectures, and I hope you learned a lot. And I want to encourage you guys to use this technique. This is just the beginning of your journey as an Android developer or any kind of development. If this is your first framework you have used, then this is just the beginning. I encourage you to be very competent in, dig online, other GitHub repo, and then learn from other developers, take tutorials, and pick a project, right? And if you haven't done so, I mean, I taught a HCI class, learn how to build an app that is catered towards a certain group of people, right? And do something that's good and valuable, right? I hope you don't use what I taught in this class to do something evil, right? I hope you do something that's valuable and meaningful and make something that makes other people's life better and everybody's life better, right? So that's my encouragement to you guys. I hope you enjoyed this lecture and this semester. I hope you can finish the semester strong, get good grades, and I'll see you in the final exam review. Thank you very much.